Here's a very good example of many people ignoring details and then jumping to conclusions. Sound familiar? Isn't that collective error? Isn't that how we got into this mess? So, our first example is based on a very famous picture taken for Lifetime magazine. Mandela Effect believers assert that JFK's car has magically changed from what they remember. The believers will say,
"But I know without a doubt it was not a 6-passenger car. It was 4, and the photo of the back seat with the flowers and the museum replica proves that."
First, need I say it again? Simultaneous evidence automatically disproves the effect. But let's humor it. In examining the picture in and of itself and looking up some references, one arrives at this very simple little truth. It's not JFK's car with the flowers in the back seat in that famous picture. That is a picture of Lyndon Johnson's car that happened to be a couple of cars down from JFK's car on that fateful day, which was also immediately driven to the hospital. The crazy thing is, most of these internet pictures depicting this famous photograph show a caption explaining what it is. As our second example, we now examine the museum replica. I keep seeing this picture posted of the 1963 Lincoln Kennedy presidential car. Even if the thought doesn't occur to you, something is wrong with the story. Simply reading about it on the site informs you that it is not the assassination car, but rather his common presidential car that he used often. The caption reads, "A faithful replica of his presidential car." The actual car the president was riding in when the assassination took place is housed in the Henry Ford Museum. You see what happens, right? The exuberant effect believer reads the first part of the sentence, along with the actual car the president was riding in when the assassination took place, and then the attention fades. It stops there. It gets registered in their head as,
"Whoa! The car he was assassinated in is not the same one depicted in this picture. It's more proof of Mandela Effect."
Take a breath, slow down and reread it. That replica is indeed a different car, because it's a different car. It's not even the same model. That was his service car, and the actual car, the 1961 Lincoln Continental presidential limousine he was incidentally also assassinated in, is displayed elsewhere, namely the Henry Ford Museum. The replica represents what was his more common presidential car, the 1963 Lincoln. The Henry Ford car was the actual assassination car. Nothing changed. His car didn't change. You are confusing two different cars. Inadvertence and absent-mindedness abound. Actually, this flagrant quality in the research of the Mandela Effect follower is, funny enough, a great example of human inadvertence overall. Something which fuels blunders like the Mandela Effect itself in the first place. It's mind-blowing how these little facts about the car pictures were totally missed. Regarding the number of people in the car, there's the question of the focal point of memory as well as expectation of commonality. The car didn't change magically, nor did the number of people in the car. But what has probably always been given most attention to are other details. Is it now more reasonable to say that watching the Zapruder film most people's attention has always been focused on JFK, the back seat, and Jackie, and so would their focal memory. In fact, cognitive psychology calls it inattentional blindness, and we do it every day. Look at this awesome presentation demonstrating focal points of memory. Overlooking detail in favor of attention on our focal point. Do you remember the gorilla experiment? If you've never heard of it, try it now, it's pretty amazing. Also, check out this relatively updated version of that here. And how about a congruity in real waking life, as I mentioned? Is it very common and expected for us to see, for example, a limo that is without a rooftop and then naturally think six-seater? The most popular video of the JFK assassination can easily be misconstrued as having only 4 people because of the unusual appearance of a topless limo and that window divider. The window divider alone looks like a windshield, creating this illusion that it is a 4-seater car or there are only 4 people in the car. Further, the agents who are actually driving and in the front passenger seats are sort of obscured, dressed in black. And the low-fidelity, grainy nature of the film doesn't help matters. Look at this screenshot. I mean, the windshield illusion from the mid-divider, and that the agents are in black in the obscured green of the film, one could see the error in observation. Then you have the digital enhancements of the film, which only confuses matters even more, as new detail emerges. Also, the Connollys having ducked for most of the time post-sniper fire adds to the illusion there was nobody in the middle jumper seat section. Because of these reasons, most people's memories are mutable and open to suggestion. Cognitive dissonance arises out of the now hyper-awareness of other detail emphasized. In a sense, one can truly claim, I didn't notice that before. Yes, because you probably truly didn't notice it. Now that it is focal, it comes as shock. Along comes a New Age belief coupled with desire and susceptibility to believe it, and the brain is primed and ready to conform the memory to the belief rather than truth. Suppose we work out the probability and the logic of how many people have always been in that car by examining who could have been driving the limo. So let's think about this. There's 4 people sound right. We have the main guests, JFK, the President of the United States, and the First Lady, Jacqueline. I think we can safely say they were not driving. Everybody can agree on that. But let's add that with JFK as the victim and Jacqueline in shock and dread, the car would have obviously crashed had one of them been driving. Governor Connolly and his wife Nellie are in the jumper seats in front of the Kennedys. Would they be driving? Not likely. Being hosts and political figures themselves, they would most likely be chauffeured as well. Not to mention Connolly gets hit by a through-and-through bullet that first hit JFK, so it would make sense that Connolly was in front-ish of them, in the second row of seating, a bit lower and more centered, since the jumper seats oriented this way. Also, we need agents in the car. That's just part of protocol. Special Agent Greer is driving with Agent Kellerman beside him, as they do in pairs, putting them in the first row of seating in the car, giving us a total of 6 people. It is the same car. It hasn't changed, and it's always been 6 people.